just came. I was asking of his mother. Now he comes say that my legions of agents before Abraham was. I said something is wrong. Something is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? There was a man. He's passed on now. Before he got born again, he was always drunk. When you're preaching Ozaho, when you're preaching to him, he will say, "Before Abraham was, I was." he said, "Before Abraham was, I am," or something. He just quotes it mumble jumbo. And every time. So after he got born again, his younger brother called me one day. He said, "Pastor, Ozaho," he said. I said, "Ozaho, before Abraham was," he said, "Ogana, before." He could no longer go by that scripture anymore. You can imagine someone suddenly say, "This is me." It will create a lot of confusion. And then you have been under the rulership of the Romans. And then he said, "Look, when the kingdom comes," and then he's teaching in my kingdom, and this is the way it goes, and the kingdom is even within you now. Everybody will be thinking that. So by the time he was going to resurrect, what was the question? "Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom to?" Now, before you go, one more last thing. Who's going to be the new kingdom? The new king of the new kingdom. So they took the thing out of the realm of the spirit and brought into the physical world, and they are unable to understand that. Which is part of the reasons too that when we're talking about rulership, if you don't remember anything, all that we lost in the garden was restored in the garden also. Christ had to illustrate everything through his life and death in the garden, and resurrection in the garden, to demonstrate that we are back to the garden. So physically, in the material world, we have been restored back to the garden. But in the spiritual world, we have been restored back to the pre-Adamite world. There's a world that existed before the world of Adam. It's called eternity. That's why when Jesus was praying in John chapter 17, verse 5, he said, what? Chapter 17, I think verses 4 and 5 or something. He began to say, somebody said, "I have glorified you. The work you have given to me, I have finished it. And I have glorified you. Therefore, glorify me with the glory I had with you." When? Before the world began. He dated our glory back to the world that has not existed before Adam. So for the first time, I want you to think this way. If you were going to pray for a man that cannot walk, and you invoke that anointing, the glory that he had before the world began does not include lameness. The glory that you had before the world began does not include inability to raise a sick man. The glory you had does not know any impossibility, because in that realm, impossibility doesn't exist and sickness does not. If you bring this understanding together, will you raise the dead or not? This thing is in revelation. It's an understanding. Because when you start preaching and pray with, it was Metugu's one who said something. He said, when God speaks a word, it is a command. He didn't ask you to pray about it. He said, God never said, go and pray for the sick. He said, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse. He said it's a command. He didn't ask you to go and pray about it. So that's why he will say, now I'm going to preach. He has a very grunting voice. He's going to pray, right? The first person to arrive at this place before I preach is going to be healed. And people will rush and they will just receive healings. A couple of times he has taken double amputees. He took a child, double amputee, and put him, who doesn't have two legs, put him on the platform, and he went to the back. I went to the back, and people who have been used to it, they started shouting, "Hey!"